Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star 2, Land of Origin based on novel. So let's start. These leader true bodies all act together in groups of 6, definitely hard to deal with. Luo Feng watched them transform into illusions and quickly leave. Even if I borrow the undying heart and palm world to increase my strength several times, it can only be an equal fight against them. Even I can't do anything about the leader-level teams, let alone the other elders. Luo Feng could already foresee the development ahead. Many elders had also predicted it, but what could they do? They could only watch everything happen with open eyes. The number of elders continued to decrease one by one. The resistance force grew weaker and weaker. Even eliminating an elite stealth team became extremely difficult for the elders. The number of elders is getting fewer. In a massive team of elders, led by the Master of Deceit Workshop, with a total of 17 elders, including Changqing building owner. They looked toward the sky. They could see that the defense formations of Yulon City had decreased by 50 to 60. The remaining numerous formations struggled more and more to resist the attacks from the outside army. Yulon City might be breached at any moment now. The Master of Deceit Workshop looked up. So much killing has happened, yet it seems long, but actually not even half a day has passed. The aid from the Dark Sacred Realm won't make it in time. The only variable now is the Hall Master. The Hall Master, after all, is an enlightened one who has mastered 2.5 paths of the half-primordial level. Even if contaminated, he might have some desperate measures. The Master of Deceit Workshop thought, if the Hall Master creates a miracle, Yulon City might hold on until aid arrives. Besides Yuan Xiong Palace Master, there was no hope visible in Yulon City. Yulon City. Yuan Xiong Palace Master, in an ordinary cave mansion in the outer city district. He looked up and sighed softly. All the elders look to me for a solution, but I know very well, I have no way to save us. Even that life and death array is controlled by Luo Feng. I've already done my best. Cultivators of Yulon City, I am sorry. Yuan Xiong Palace Master sighed. Boom. The low-level primordial life army outside the city suddenly erupted from 4 directions. They had already sensed that Yulon City's defense system was crumbling. At this moment, under a unified command, they all unleashed their maximum power at any cost. Even the 4 kings went all out. Immediately, an endless barrage of attacks overwhelmed Yulon City's defense formation, surpassing its tolerance limit, and instantly blasted open a huge breach. Countless low-level primordial life surged in almost instantly through the breach. Ha ha ha, the city is breached. The city is breached. The low-level primordial lives crazily flooded in. As they stormed in, Yulon City's elders urgently controlled the formations, intercepting and killing with all their might. These low-level primordial life armies contained many early and middle-stage divine emperors. Under the overwhelming onslaught of the formations, these weaker low-level primordial lives died in large numbers. First, eliminate the elders of Yulon City. Destroy those elders. A colossal superlimit level existence that resembled a winding mountain range crashed into the city. It gave an order, leading the way, bringing with it over 1,000 divine emperor perfection level low-level primordial lives, all charging toward the core area of Yulon City, aiming to destroy the last resistance force of Yulon City. Seal off Yulon City. Don't let a single cultivator escape. Troops outside were also ordered to blockade. It's over. Yulon City, it's over. One by one, the elders watched this scene. The elders had avatars and could face all this calmly, yet they felt the loss of a city they had strived to defend, losing both their accumulation within the city and the sense of defeat, for a great massacre was imminent. No. No, impossible. The billions of cultivators inside the city, they were weak and couldn't participate in the defense. But they had always watched the progression of the war anxiously. When Yulon City's defense system was breached, despair washed over them. 99% of them had their true bodies here. Death meant complete and utter death. How could Yulon City be breached? What about the 3 hallmasters? Why didn't they block it? Many cultivators couldn't accept the reality. Some cultivators looked at the terrifying superlimit level beings in the sky, at the leader level existences, and laughed. Ha ha ha. I've cultivated till now, transcended my home world, gathered with countless world powerhouses here. Yet I face such a calamity, billions of cultivators walking towards extinction together. This is the end of my path. My cultivation path ends here. Many cultivators faced death with calm. Since they embarked on this path, they were prepared for death. This day had finally come. The city is breached. In Luo Feng's cave mansion, Emperor Qing, Emperor Ming, and Di Fu all looked up. Emperor Qing and Di Fu both had clone techniques, but Emperor Ming did not. Though I have life-saving items, under the blockade of the low-level primordial life army, I'm afraid I won't escape. Emperor Ming looked up at the sky. I knew that the outside world of the source world was dangerous. The day I left the land of origin, I was prepared for death. I just didn't expect it to come so soon. Emperor Qing and Di Fu looked at Emperor Ming. They both were powerless. Why is Brother Luo Feng still in seclusion? Emperor Qing looked towards Luo Feng's quiet room. Relying on the faint causality sensing, he knew that Luo Feng had an avatar still in seclusion and hadn't come out. The city is breached, yet is still in seclusion. In the quiet room. As the city lord, Luo Feng was undoubtedly aware of everything happening in Yulon City at the moment. He saw the low-level primordial life army has already surged into the city, so that slaughter has begun. The city is breached, but I still haven't broken through. Luo Feng's eyes reddened. At this moment, his heart was unbelievably anxious. Quick, quick, quick. Not enough time. Under the influence of consuming the 100 Tribulations heart essence, it was as if he was experiencing a life and death trial, his soul filled with pain. But at this moment, under his strong will, under intense emotions, longing for faster enlightenment, his will imbued, boom. His soul vibrated fiercely, and the pain suddenly disappeared. Luo Feng felt an extreme sense of comfort. His soul's thinking and enlightenment speed vastly exceeded the original 3,000 times cognitive speed. His comprehension reached unprecedented levels, and spirit light continuously emerged. Under this mysterious state, Luo Feng's efficiency in perfecting the life and death Tao skyrocketed. He seemed to instinctively know the right approach without needing trial and error, rapidly perfecting it. In merely a dozen breaths. Boom. A completely transformed life and death Tao surfaced in Luo Feng's mind. Success. Late-stage Divine Emperor level life and death Tao. At this moment, Luo Feng's heart filled with excitement, but immediately his soul withdrew from that mysterious state, and a pain stronger than before enveloped his soul. There's still time. Luo Feng didn't care about the pain at all, his eyes filled with madness. Boom. Luo Feng instantly rushed out from the quiet room in his cave mansion. Emperor Qing, Di Fu, and Emperor Ming suddenly felt a terrifying aura erupt from inside the cave mansion, and a figure soared into the sky. They immediately recognized that it was Luo Feng. Luo Feng stood above the cave mansion. Whoosh! Instantly splitting into a total of 23 avatars. 23 Luo Fengs observed the surroundings. Emperor Qing, stay inside the cave mansion, don't go out. Luo Feng instructed, and the 23 avatars instantly flew in all directions. This. Why did Brother Luo Feng create so many avatars? The more avatars, the more each avatar needs to split thoughts for control, and the energy reserves are weak. Emperor Qing, Di Fu, and Emperor Ming were all somewhat confused. Even if Luo Feng possessed strength comparable to the three Hall Masters, splitting many avatars would still reduce his overall power significantly. In the face of the overwhelming army attacking the city, it was completely meaningless. Emperor Ming chuckled. Perhaps Brother Luo Feng thinks it's better to fight to the death than just wait for it. I also want to fight to the death, but alas, I can't even fight the weakest low-level primordial life. I don't even have the qualification to risk my life. Emperor Ming was already resigned to death. This isn't Brother Luo Feng's character. Di Fu frowned as he watched the 23 avatars flying away. I've seen Brother Luo Feng grow until now, and whenever he takes action, he always has some confidence. Emperor Qing seemed lost in thought. At this moment, the garrison avatar of Luo Feng at the Dan Tower, and the avatars patrolling outside, all split, a total of 11 more avatars. 34 avatars, spread out flying, heading to different positions in the core area of Yulon City. My 34 avatars will guard the entire core area. Luo Feng had long since planned. These 34 avatars, except for the strongest avatar, which possessed 500 times the perfect divine body energy reserve, carrying the undying heart and the palm world. The other 33 avatars each had only 100 times the energy reserve. This was all the energy reserves Luo Feng currently had. At this moment, he was fully exerting himself. The core area of Yulon City was the most prosperous, with countless elder cave mansions here. Even at this moment, the elders continued to maintain the various formations of Yulon City, trying to resist the army of low-level primordial life. It's over. The army of low-level primordial life is charging towards the core area. Seeing 4 super limit level existences leading over 2,000 divine emperor perfection level, and tens of thousands of late-stage divine emperor low-level primordial life charging towards the core area, all the elders felt a shiver and despair. They relied on the defenses of Yulon City to resist the army of low-level primordial life. Without the city's advantage, the disparity between the sides was too great. This was a hasty assault. Otherwise, the army size would have doubled. With simultaneous attacks from inside and outside, Yulon City would be quickly breached with no chance of resistance. The low-level primordial life around Yulon City, according to calculations, has only around 200 or 300 divine emperor perfection level, and several thousand late-stage divine emperor. This time, so many came. The elders watched intently. Within the city, originally 3 Hall Masters, and over 700 late-stage divine emperor enlightened ones existed. Without the defenses of Yulon City standing against them, none could resist 200 to 300 divine emperor perfection, and several thousand late-stage divine emperor low-level primordial life. Now, there were 2,000 to 3,000 divine emperor perfection. Tens of thousands of late-stage divine emperor. Including lurkers, there were 5 super limit level existences. How to block them? Ha ha ha. Victory. We won. In the core area, the 5 leader teams were wildly ecstatic. This hasty action had made them uneasy. Ultimately, although many core clan members and 2 leaders had died, they survived till the end. The city was breached, the army entered the city. They were about to enjoy the richest feast. Wipe out these elders, and we'll have endless fun with millions of cultivators. These leaders went mad. Suddenly, among Luo Feng's many avatars scattered and flying to guard the core area, one avatar approached one leader team. Boom. This avatar instantly transformed into a vast blood sea. The blood sea swiftly swallowed the leader team. Another Luo Feng. The city has been breached, he dares to hinder us. Let's join forces and kill him first. The 6 leaders of this team were somewhat angry. Their bodies turned real, the powerful divine Emperor Perfection bodies burst with might, trying to tear apart this blood sea. But they felt the blood sea's immense weight. They struggled to roll over. Suppress. The vast blood sea, Luo Feng formed a formation with a single thought. His formation operated with the late-stage divine Emperor Life and Death Tao as the core, forcefully suppressing 6 leaders. Under the suppression of the blood sea formation, they could barely roll, their movement speed like a turtle's crawl. Obliterate. Luo Feng simultaneously suppressed with the formation and concentrated the formation's power to strangle one leader's true body. Sizzle. Under the strangling power of the formation, the body of the divine Emperor Perfection, enchanting heartworm, quickly eroded, its vitality dissipated. Soon, its powerful body was torn apart, the formation power infiltrating its core. No, this divine Emperor Perfection, enchanting heartworm, couldn't believe it. Its powerful life force was completely suppressed, unable to recover. Each erosion took away a part, and under the rapid erosion from Luo Feng's blood sea formation, death quickly approached the enchanting heartworm. Help me, it immediately cried out for help from its companions. King, save me, it also fearfully begged the king for help. In another part of the core area, the king, resembling Wei Yang Palace Master, looked over distantly. It saw a blood sea hovering, suppressing the 6 leaders, and one begged in terror. How is this possible? The city has been breached. How could there be power capable of threatening a leader-level team? The king couldn't believe it. Save me, no. Accompanied by the unwilling, shrill cries, this cry echoed in the king's heart, and other leaders' hearts. A divine Emperor Perfection, enchanting heartworm, died just like that. Whoosh! Above the blood sea, Luo Feng's figure emerged. Luo Feng slightly frowned, looking at the lifeless corpse in the blood sea. The life core had already cracked. My life and death Tao has reached late-stage divine emperor, yet exterminating a leader team is so troublesome. Luo Feng realized these leaders' true bodies indeed had very strong life force after making a move. This avatar lacks powerful secret treasures, energy reserves are inadequate, and secret techniques aren't strong. Luo Feng understood. Only 100 times energy reserve, at his current level, every move contained late-stage divine emperor life and death Tao. The weapon secret treasures sold outside weren't as marvelous as his casual moves, no longer meaningful to him. Only outliers created treasures, like Undying Heart and Palm World, were valuable to him. But this kind of treasure had to suit him and was naturally rare. During Luo Feng's contemplation, the strangled leader team, under his blood sea formation, had lost another leader. As their numbers decreased, the remaining leaders' resistance weakened, dying faster. No. King. These leaders were too despairing. Under the suppression of the blood sea formation, they couldn't move at all. The more died, the faster they died. Finally, all 6 leaders perished. In just over 10 breaths, I exterminated a team. Luo Feng looked into the distance. Beware of Luo Feng, Divine Emperor. Luo Feng killed a leader team. The remaining 4 leader teams panicked, but Luo Feng's avatars were scattered throughout the core area. An avatar swiftly approached another leader team. That team hastily fled. Escape, quickly escape. We are faster, we'll shake him off. This leader team turned illusory, fully fleeing. Suddenly. Whoosh! While flying, Luo Feng seemed to tear through the heavens and earth, creating a crack in the sky. This scene stunned the fleeing leaders. Clad in black clothes with black hair, Luo Feng walked in the crack of the sky. With only 3 steps, a vast blood sea under his feet enveloped the leader team. How is this possible? His speed is faster than us. Did he just short-distance teleport? How could he teleport in the strongly suppressed Nine Rivers Holy Realm? This leader team felt despair, submerged in the blood sea, unable to accept it. Luo Feng revealed a slight smile. Finally, creating a flying escape secret technique based on a late-stage divine emperor life and death Dao. Luo Feng thought. He had just broken through and immediately fought, too hastily. He hadn't managed to create many secret techniques using the life and death Dao. With the late-stage divine emperor life and death Dao as the basis, all created techniques would be extraordinary. But they all needed time to develop. Luo Feng currently divided into 34 avatars, guarding the core area. Actually, after consuming 100 Tribulation's heart essence, his thinking speed reached 3,000 times. Avatars fighting posed little mental burden. His heart force mainly focused on two tasks. First, utilizing the city-building seal to re-establish formations within Yulon City's core formation layer. His original formations were too weak. Now, they needed to be re-established using life and death Dao. Only by utilizing Yulon City could his formations still cover the entire city under the Nine Rivers Holy Realm's suppression with immense power, threatening the entire low-level primordial life army. Second, Luo Feng was perfecting his secret techniques. Developing simple techniques like flying, dodging, and enemy slaying were easy for Luo Feng. The hardest was perfecting the undying blood sea body, created with Star Tower blood scale as the core, and undying heart as a reference. Luo Feng aimed to elevate it to a higher level, yet short-term hopes were dim. The biomimetic destruction, I also required a long time. Therefore, Luo Feng focused on creating simpler techniques. Nevertheless, what he considered simple techniques were deemed almost impossible by other cultivators. In a common cave mansion in the outer city district, Yuan Xiong Palace Master could still observe all city movements. He was stunned by everything, especially seeing Luo Feng tear through heavens and earth, achieving short-distance teleportation. In the Nine Rivers Holy Realm, someone can tear heavens and earth to fly, achieving short-distance void travel. Yuan Xiong Palace Master's eyes brightened. One avatar can suppress a leader team. Has he mastered 2 half-primordial level paths? In the Nine Rivers Holy Realm, space travel was almost impossible. Yet, there were some escape treasures that could short-distance teleport. Where did those escape items come from? Precisely from experts like Luo Feng and peak-time Yuan Xiong Palace Master, who spent efforts to refine them, generally one-time items. There's hope, there's hope. Yuan Xiong Palace Master was ecstatic. If he mastered 2 half-primordial level paths, he might rescue countless Yulon City cultivators, although with heavy casualties. Yuan Xiong Palace Master had no idea Luo Feng hadn't mastered 2 half-primordial level paths, but had a complete late-stage divine emperor life and death Dao. 2 paths needed enough intricate coordination to reach a higher level threshold. A complete path, just breaking through, already exceeded a higher tier. Luo Feng, upon breakthrough, had become stronger than peak-time Yuan Xiong Palace Master. No matter how clever the coordination, it couldn't compare to a complete integral. 34 of Luo Feng's avatars were stationed at each core area of Yulon City. After obliterating 1 leader squad and suppressing a second, the remaining 3 leader squads were filled with terror and started fleeing frantically without hesitation. How is Luo Feng so powerful? Why can't an entire leader squad even put up a fight against him? These leader squads couldn't accept it. The city had been broken, and they were about to enjoy a feast, only to be met with such disaster suddenly. Help! King, help! The suppressed second leader squad cried out anxiously for help as one by one they perished. This further heightened the panic among the fleeing leaders. Throughout the Nine Rivers Sacred Realm, about half of the leader-level powerhouses of the enchanting heartworm tribe and the soul-devouring snake tribe had come to Yulon City, but now they were facing their doom. Huff! 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 One black-clad Luo Feng after another perfected their flying escape technique, the initial massive rift-tearing commotion getting quieter. A blurred rift in the world appeared, and Luo Feng stepped out, crossing great distances. When Luo Feng transformed into a blood sea, trapping the third leader squad, the remaining fleeing leaders became even more despairing. Scatter. Disperse and hide, possess someone. The remaining leaders quickly scattered, attempting to possess cultivators. Scatter. Luo Feng's numerous avatars, initially cloned with 100 times energy reserve, split again into avatars with 50 times energy reserve, drastically increasing their numbers. With the leaders dispersed, their individual resistance was much weaker than an entire squad. A biomimetic destruction eye appeared between Luo Feng's brows, locking onto the true body of each leader. Huff! As each Luo Feng avatar walked through the rift, transforming into bloodlight, and sweeping past a leader, they'd kill them in an instant. Individually, the leaders couldn't withstand even a single move from him. Luo Feng. The king in Master Wei Yang's guise was indeed furious. It charged towards the nearest Luo Feng avatar. Luo Feng, standing in the high sky, watched the king without flinching, his expression cold. I didn't think there'd be such a strong person in Yulon City. It's a good thing Palace Master Yuan Xiong hadn't fully employed you. If he had, breaking Yulon City would have been impossible, the king's voice echoed in Luo Feng's mind. Luo Feng looked at the king in Master Wei Yang's guise. Employed. He was already the city lord of Yulon City, having just made a breakthrough. Luckily, the breakthrough happened in time. If he'd been slower, Yulon City might have been completely destroyed. Boom. As the king approached, its innate secret technique enchanting was already enacted. In an instant, it completely shrouded Luo Feng's mental consciousness. This ordinary avatar of Luo Feng did not possess the undying heart, or palm world. He felt a massive influx of information flooding his mind, thoroughly disturbing his awareness. Who am I? Am I an enchanting heartworm? No. I am, of course, Luo Feng. Luo Feng's eyes cleared. The Tao of the ultimate realm of God King had begun to counteract will attacks. The Tao of the Divine Emperor realm, as it became stronger, increasingly obstructed will attacks. This was why weapon secret treasures crafted by divine emperors could hinder will attacks. Luo Feng's life and death Tao, at the late divine emperor stage, had reached an incredibly high level. Under its immense obstruction, even the mental will attack of a transcendent level enchanting heartworm was weakened by 70 to 80% in a moment. Furthermore, with the Lai Yuan technique guarding him and the power of Yulon City protecting him, every ounce of willpower was suppressed, mental confusion abilities were greatly reduced. Luo Feng only received a large amount of information transmitted by innate confusion. He was fully awake, easily filtering through the information, as though reading a book. Suppress. As Luo Feng maintained clarity, this avatar transformed into a blood sea, creating a formation to trap the transcendent level enchanting heartworm. My mental attack is completely ineffective against him. His realm indeed rivals mine. The king immediately understood. Divine Emperor perfection level low-level primordial beings and half-primordial level Tao enlighteners were at the same level. One side had more resilient life forms, while the other fully understood the essence of the Tao. Without weapon secret treasures, their strengths were similar. However, with weapon secret treasures crafted by cage transcendent beings, Tao enlighteners naturally had higher combat power. Both Master Wei Yang and Master Gai Dao could defeat Divine Emperor perfection level low-level primordial beings one-on-one. Transcendent level low-level primordial beings at the same level as those mastering 2 half-primordial level Daos. Luo Feng's realm is no less than ours. The king immediately sent a mental message to the other 4 transcendent level comrades. He should have mastered 2 half-primordial level Daos. The 4 transcendent level beings, already in Yulon City and quickly heading toward the core area, felt a shock. We have 5 transcendent level beings and over 2,000 divine emperor perfection level warriors. Attacking together, we could completely annihilate him, the king sent. 1 transcendent level being was comparable to more than 20 divine emperor perfection level experts. When over 2,000 divine emperor perfection level experts joined forces, the resulting might could destroy the world. Luckily, we breached the city, otherwise, we couldn't surround him, the king communicated. Shadow, I will first join forces with you to entangle him. A blue-white figure, the fastest flyer, appeared blurry, and was already the closest among the 4 transcendent level beings to the core area. After the king's mental attack failed, its massive enchanting heartworm body swung, and instantly tore apart Luo Feng's blood sea formation, quickly escaping. Luo Feng's avatar coldly watched. Without secret treasures and with only an ordinary avatar, I am still somewhat weaker than a transcendent level being, Luo Feng realized. That was also why his most powerful secret techniques, Undying Blood Sea Body, and Biomimetic Destruction, were not yet perfected. Ordinary secret techniques lacked deterrent power against transcendent level beings. Huff. 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 While Luo Feng clashed with the king, his other avatars had already wiped out the other leaders. After annihilating them, Luo Feng reverted to 34 avatars. 34 avatars continued to guard the core area. How is this possible? The elders of Yulon City, who controlled the formations carved into the city, sensing the entire city through them, naturally saw clearly what had just taken place in the core area. Luo Feng, single-handedly, split into 34 avatars and completely exterminated all the leader-level lurkers. Even that king couldn't gain any advantage in its confrontation with one of Luo Feng's avatars and had to retreat empty-handed. Single-handedly exterminated 30 divine emperor perfection level low-level primordial beings. Even a transcendent level enchanting heartworm couldn't do anything against one avatar. Luo Feng divine emperor, he. Anyone with eyes could see that Luo Feng's strength had far surpassed the palace master level, reaching an even higher tier. Luo Feng has mastered 2 half-primordial level Daos. The elders speculated. Even in the dark sacred realm, those who mastered 2 half-primordial level Daos were at the pinnacle. As for stronger invincible beings, in the dark sacred realm, they were mere legends, rarely seen. Luo Feng actually possesses such power. The insect nest master trembled. Any palace master level being would probably die in just 1 or 2 moves against him now. He and I have enmity. Even if Yulon City is defended, there will be no place for me there anymore, the insect nest master realized. In the world of cultivators, strength was paramount. Even if Luo Feng wasn't the city lord, his strength to overturn palace master level beings would make him the uncrowned king of Yulon City. If he wanted to expel the insect nest, it would have no place to live in Yulon City. I'll help defend the city for now and leave once it's safe. His hostility should lessen, the insect nest master decided. Luo Feng's strength. The master of Shadow Tower, master of Deceit Workshop, Elder Qian He, building master Changqing, and Elder Xingyi were all in shock, each lost in thought. This level of power made someone the uncrowned king in any city, within the 9 rivers sacred realm, and in the dark sacred realm, it placed them at the peak. We are saved. Yulon City is saved. Many elders were excited, seeing hope. Palace Master, Palace Master. We must have Luo Feng Divine Emperor imprint formations in the core area of Yulon City. With his power and the city's formations, we might completely drive off the low-level primordial army. Yes, Palace Master, Luo Feng Divine Emperor must imprint the formations as soon as possible. The Master of Shadow Tower also transmitted instantly, the sooner the better. Only Luo Feng Divine Emperor can save Yulon City. Palace Master, the Insect Nest Master, and others transmitted urgently. Everyone, rest assured. I have already given the city building seal to Luo Feng Divine Emperor. From now on, Luo Feng Divine Emperor is the Lord of Yulon City. Palace Master Yuan Xiong transmitted, Luo Feng, please respond to everyone. Everyone. As the city lord, Luo Feng instantly transmitted to all elders. I have refined the city building seal and am now the city lord of Yulon City. City Lord. Lord Luo. With Lord Luo here, Yulon City is saved. The billions of cultivators are saved. The elders were all elated. Luo Feng transmitted, everyone, the low-level primordial army won't wait. They'll attack me at all costs. So, I ask all of you to use Yulon City's formations to deal with them. Understood. We understand. City Lord, leave it to us. The elders had seen the hope of victory. The vast low-level primordial army surged towards the core area from all sides. Luo Feng's biomimetic destruction, I observed closely. The most terrifying force was the 5 transcendent level beings and over 2,600 divine emperor perfection level entities. Kill Luo Feng. Destroy each of his avatars. Exhaust his energy, and he won't be able to save Yulon City. At this moment, the 5 transcendent level beings, over 2,600 divine emperor perfection level entities, and tens of thousands of late-stage divine emperor level low-level primordial beings were all in a frenzy. Breaking into a city was their best chance to gain freedom in this lifetime. They had been confined in the 9 Rivers sacred realm and yearned for the moment of their freedom. Luo Feng was the hope of survival for Yulon City's billions of cultivators, but at the same time, Luo Feng was the greatest obstacle to the low-level primordial army's freedom. Both sides would stop at nothing. This video will end here.